Hey everyone, it's just Frankie-Lou today at the bee yard doing a little bit of maintenance. Unfortunately, Angus is away right now, but this couldn't wait. It's certainly not as much fun to do the beekeeping without the best helper in the world, but sometimes beekeeping isn't hard work, but it's timely and you got to do stuff at different times in order to make sure your hives thrive. So I have to do this stuff today. So I'm going to get started and hopefully it'll all go well. Okay. So this is the first of the new hives we got this year. They're doing really nicely. Looks like they're trying to fill this one up mostly with honey. Okay, so I am going to put a honey super on top of this because I would prefer that they do use this middle box more for brood. See, there's lots of activity going on in there. It's a nice healthy hive. I have to say I'm actually extremely fond of this hive in particular because it is the one that we got as a queenless nuke, and we did have it generate a queen all on its own, so that was pretty exciting for us. And she's obviously a very busy queen. I'm going to put a queen separator on. Okay, the queen separator is just, it might seem silly, but these bars here are wide enough for the worker bees to get by, but not wide enough for the queen to squeeze through. So that is how we ensure we don't get any larvae in our honey frames. Now these are the honey frames super that I'm putting on. Honey supers are shorter in general than the main boxes because honey frames are heavy, and it would be very, very difficult for someone my size to lift one of this full of honey. This is almost too heavy for me. It usually ends up being about 50 or 60 pounds when it's full, so that would be closer to 70, 80. That's a bit hard for me, so I'm going to put this honey super on so it's easier to work with. And I think we might see some honey from this hive this year. I got to make sure that I have the entrance at the front. Everybody's doing nicely here. I'm not going to do a full inspection today because I am still recovering from my injury, but I did want to make sure that I did enough to help them out, so they have enough room and could maybe even produce us some honey this year. Alright, so now we're on to hive number 2. So what I'm doing here is I'm removing the top board and putting it up on top. Okay, we wanted to keep them in a ball to start, but I've got some nice activity here. See, this isn't even full and it's quite heavy. Okay, so that's the inside of this hive. As you can see, it's really nowhere near as active. It's really only filled up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames, whereas the other one was chock-a-block full. I think I still will put the other space above it for them though. And I'm definitely not putting a honey super on here yet. I do want to take a look at some of the frames of this one though, see how much brood I'm seeing. This frame has a ton of brood going on. Oh, nice. Lots of brood. That's what those are capped brood frames. And this one has a lot of brood too. So it's good. She's busy, but she's not really, the hive is focusing not as much on honey right now as maintenance. Pop it in really carefully as I so don't want to hurt anyone, particularly the queen. So we've got a few honey frames in here already to help feed this hive, and I'm just gonna go move this over now. And I sort of twist as I'm putting slowly the other frame back on, the other box back on. Try to avoid squishing as much as possible. Unfortunately, can't be completely avoided. So you want to be as careful as you can. Put the lid on. Make sure I've got the entrance hole at the front. It was so hot here when we first got this hive that we were going through a heat wave. They actually had to prop this open to allow for more airflow. All right, so they're mad at me, but they'll settle. And now I'm gonna go check that last hive. So this is the third hive. We put it in a different location this year. We wanted to give it a try. It's on the, it's about 100 meters from the other hive yard over there. And it's on the east side of this old dilapidated shed we have. But we feel like it would be a good location because the pond is right on the other side of this shed. There's lots of flowering trees nearby. And we think it would provide a good spot for, in terms of shelter from all the winds. So we're just giving it a try, see how it does. So I'm gonna open up this one. There isn't a nice spot to set up here, but I will take you inside once I get it open. Okay, so here we have inside hive number 3. Seems to be doing pretty good. We were late getting these, but I've got high hopes, and I'm hoping they're gonna like this new location. Okay, so I'm finished with the last of the hive maintenance here. Unfortunately, my phone overheated, so I couldn't get the footage, as much footage inside this hive as I wanted to. But, and I had to close it up, not leave them exposed too long. But this hive, I really doubt I will be harvesting any honey from. In fact, I'm probably going to be supplementing this hive to get it through the winter with a little bit of honey that we have from last year. And because we really want, what I want to focus on for my first year hives is not so much getting honey as getting the hive strong. And this one is the weakest hive we have, so I'm going to continue monitoring it a lot and probably doing some supplemental feeding. But I do have high hopes for this area, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so yes, didn't want to get to do as much work as I wanted to today because I'm ill, but being with these babies definitely does make me feel better. And it also helps me miss my wonderful Angus a little less. If you have any questions about any of the other activities we have going on here at the homestead, let me know. And or if there's other things you want to see. And as always, I hope you take this chance to grow together today.